Hey, all you Golden Eagles, you're listening to Southern Miss Today on Southern Miss Radio. I'm your Tuesday, Thursday show host, Skylar Angus Barker. We've got a great show coming up with some information about Robert Leslie, speaking of the time his team was spared from a booby trap in World War II, and Amaya Norman reporting on the deadly floods in tolls in Africa. Don't touch that dial because the Southern Miss Alumni Association will share some things that you don't want to miss. You're listening to Southern Miss Today on Southern Miss Radio.
Sponsorship for Southern Miss Today comes from Mississippi Beverages. Mississippi Beverages provides water coolers, and coffee service throughout South Mississippi. Take half of your weight in pounds. That's how many ounces of water you need a day. Mississippi Beverages can help you reach that goal by delivering fresh water to your door. To get more information or to set up a cooler and water delivery, you can call Mississippi Beverages at 601-271-2420, or you can find them online.
Are you in a hurry? Well, I am. But as a paralyzed veteran, I had to overcome incredible challenges just to regain my independence and return to work. Finding a parking space shouldn't be one of them. Illegally parking in spaces reserved for people with disabilities is not only wrong, it's against the law. So please, think twice before pulling into a reserved parking spot. Even if it's just for a minute, it's 60 seconds too long. This has been a public service announcement from United Spinal Association.
Welcome back to Southern Miss Today on Southern Miss Radio. In Hattiesburg news, Hattiesburg Pocket Museum celebrates Dia de los Muertos with October exhibit. There's a new exhibit this month at the Hattiesburg Pocket Museum. While most might think of October as a spooky month, Dia de los Muertos is more like a family reunion, except dead ancestors are the guests of honor. This holiday is celebrated mainly in Mexico on November 1st and 2nd. In the days preceding this holiday, it is customary to build a shrine to honor one's deceased relatives. These Los Muertos, the museum's exhibit, features Mexican art, decor, and pottery. The idea for this month's exhibit came from Hattiesburg schoolteacher Elvira de Amport, who is a first-generation Mexican-American who loves to share her cultural backgrounds with her students. Other artifacts come from the lead designer and artist for the Hattiesburg Convention Commission, Kari Zendejas. Zendejas had heard many stories from her father about his childhood that inspired her works. The Hattiesburg Pocket Museum's October exhibit will be on display from October 2nd through October 31st. In Mississippi news, Magic of Lights returning to Brandon Amphitheater this holiday season. Entergy Magic of Lights presented by WLPD is coming back. The vibrant drive-through holiday-themed light display is returning to the Brandon Amphitheater just in time for the holidays. The event, featuring more than 2 million lights and 12.6 miles of light cords, will kick off November 17th and will run through December 31st. While inside the comfort of their own vehicle, guests will enjoy Magic of Light's classic holiday favorites, including Winter Wonderland, the 12 Days of Christmas, Toyland, Festive Elves, and Reindeer Road. In important USM campus news, it is with a heavy heart to say that we have recently lost a Southern Miss student, a student who put their time and effort into the Student Media Center, our organization. Previously in 2021, we lost another one of our students. The feelings and thoughts that our students must be going through are immense. University is meant to be an opportunity to establish who we want to be, what we can do, and who we are. Our thoughts and hearts go to the family and friends who are grieving at this time. If you're listening right now, you mean something. You are something. Maybe no one knows the struggles that you have to go through and the weight that you have to carry on a daily basis, but know this: people care about you. People want to know. Even if it's hard to say it, even if it's even harder to consider it, you mean the world to people. Someone out there is thinking about you, wishing you the best. I wish the best for you. If you're feeling lonely, scared, or anything that you don't know how to express, please talk to someone. Just because the shine doesn't seem so bright doesn't mean that we're not golden. Stay safe, Eagles. We'll be right back with sports and weather after a word from our sponsors.
Sponsorship for Southern Miss Today comes from Mississippi Beverages. Mississippi Beverages provides water coolers, and coffee service throughout South Mississippi. Take half of your weight in pounds. That's how many ounces of water you need a day. Mr. Sippy Beverages can help you reach that goal by delivering fresh water to your door. To get more information or to set up a cooler and water delivery, you can call Mr. Sippy Beverages at 601-271-2420, or you can find them online. Research shows that audiences feel positively about businesses that underwrite programming on their community radio station. Research also shows that the audiences are likely to patronize businesses that support community radio programming. The audience also believes that businesses that support community radio care about their community. If you want to build this type of relationship with WUSM's audience, call us at 601-266-4287 to ask about sponsoring programming. It's more than just exposure, it's building a community relationship.
Welcome back to Southern Miss Today on Southern Miss Radio. Now on for some sports. Game times change for volleyball's home series versus ULM. The Sun Belt Conference has announced time changes to Southern Miss Volleyball's first home conference games of the season against ULM on October 5th to 6th. Thursday's match against the Warhawks have been pushed back to 7 p.m., while Friday's game will now be played at 5 p.m. Both games will be broadcast on ESPN+, and fans can purchase tickets at southernmisstickets.com or by calling 1-800-844-TICK or 8425. That's 1-800-844-8425. Or visit the Pat Fierle's ticket office on campus weekdays during normal business hours. To keep up with all the Golden Eagles sports activities, head on over to southernmiss.com. Now on for your weather. It looks like we're greeting a typical Mississippi day. Highs in the 90s and lows in the 60s. Humidity is at a 63%, which may not feel any different to others, but prepare yourselves for that. Rain chances are low, with not a lot of moisture heading our way with this incoming cold front, so that might, or that won't, be doing much for the drought conditions that we have currently. Up next, we have Robert Leslie speaking up on his time his team was spared from a booby trap in World War II. Check it out.
This is Mississippi Moments, produced by the Center for Oral History and Cultural Heritage at the University of Southern Mississippi and supported by the Mississippi Humanities Council. I'm Bill Ellison. During World War II, the liberation of French cities from German occupation often required street-to-street fighting. Robert Leslie remembers how his soldiers were saved from a booby-trapped roadblock.
And we moved north and east and went into a town called Celestat, and it was a 2 or 3 day battle, and it was a town that had a downtown business section, and we got down to a place and stopped, big roadblock full of rubble, and we didn't know it at the time, but the Germans had buried a 500-pound American bomb that didn't detonate under the roadblock, and when they tried to take the roadblock down, the bomb went off. Nobody got a scratch. But what had happened, the 500-pound bomb was detonated by a lot of pigs that had gotten loose from some of the other barns in the area, and they were running down the street, and they thought they detonated that 500-pound bomb. The engineers didn't get a chance to do anything with it.
To hear more, visit MississippiMoments.org or just like us on Facebook. Mississippi Moments is supported by the Mississippi Humanities Council. The humanities are for everyone.
That was Robert Leslie. Coming next, we've got a special Miss.
Sponsorship for Southern Miss Today comes from Mr. Sippy Beverages. Mr. Sippy Beverages provides water, water coolers, and coffee service throughout South Mississippi. Take half of your weight in pounds. That's how many ounces of water you need a day. Mr. Sippy Beverages can help you reach that goal by delivering fresh water to your door. To get more information or to set up a cooler and water delivery, you can call Mr. Sippy Beverages at 601-271-2420, or you can find them online.
Regresando a la escuela, sí tenía miedo, porque yo tenía pensamientos que no sabía si iba a poder hacerlo.
A los 47 años, Marco obtuvo su high school diploma.
Nunca es muy tarde para obtenerlo.
Nadie obtiene un diploma solo. Si estás pensando en obtener tu high school diploma, puedes recibir ayuda. Encuentra clases gratis para adultos cerca de ti en completatudiploma.org. Repito, completatudiploma.org. Presentado por la Dollar General Literacy Foundation y el Ad Council.
Welcome back to Southern Miss Today on Southern Miss Radio. Now, please give a warm Golden Eagle welcome to Representative of Southern Miss Alumni Association, Mary Beth. Hey, how are you?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty okay. So, for anyone that doesn't know you, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, so I'm Mary Beth. I work for the Southern Miss Alumni Association as the coordinator for student programming. So we're a big office that works a lot with Southern Miss graduates, and then I get to work with the students and kind of bring the two together.
Awesome. And what exactly is Southern Miss AA?
So the Alumni Association might be something that's a little unfamiliar to
Right.
students, but basically our purpose on campus is to bring alumni back for fun weeks like this week.
Right.
And for football games, for networking events, and just make them feel really wanted and really special. And when they get here, they get to meet the students and kind of, relive all those great Southern Miss memories.
Yeah.
So we're there to serve them and kind of help the students bridge the gap between being a student and being an adult.
Absolutely. And it's an amazing moment, an amazing opportunity for one, alumni to be able to relive part of those memories that they had on campus, but also for students to meet alumni and be able to look over and go like, you're similar to me. You're not like some old person that was in my head that was like walking around. You're just like me. And I think a lot of students have like that like almost underlining fear of like, graduation seems so far away, and
Right.
like what's going to happen in a couple years, what am I going to do, what do I have to do, and trying to figure themselves out. And it's amazing that they can have this opportunity to really click together. That's great.
Yep, definitely. It's awesome.
So this week, regarding like homecoming week, it's an exciting time for our students, but can also be a stressful time for you guys, I'm imagining. But what kind of things can we expect?
So everything for homecoming week kicked off yesterday afternoon. The Student Government Association planned like a homecoming pep rally to kick all the festivities off yesterday. And then today they have their second big event, which is my personal favorite, the Bring It On Eagle Style. It's
Nice.
a giant dance competition. And this year the theme is Southern Miss Eras. So we've got a little Taylor Swift crossover with Southern Miss. So that's going to be super fun. And then throughout the week, there's going to be a bunch of competitions for
Yeah.
all the homecoming teams. And then on Thursday, President Joe Paul will be getting inaugurated. So
Right.
that's a huge deal. And there's going to be a celebration in Spirit Park Thursday afternoon. And then on Friday, we're going to keep everything going with Friday night at Spirit Park. Saturday, there's a homecoming parade and the football game.
Right.
And then Sunday, everyone can go and take a big long nap. So,
A much needed one, I'm sure.
yes.
Okay, so with some of those events that you brought up, I know like the biggest one that immediately caught my eye is Joe Paul's inauguration. Because I know that like I was reading some of it, and I've heard from other students that there's going to be like a choir that's going to be like supporting it. Do you know anything about that at all?
So, this is something that I've never seen before.
Right.
This is a huge deal. And so Thursday, there's going to be a ceremony for Dr. Paul, and
Yeah.
it's going to be super, super official. And then afterwards, everyone on campus is invited to Spirit Park, and there's going to be some music, there's going to be some food, just so everyone can get together and celebrate him. But other than that, this is just a huge, huge deal for Southern Miss. This is an exciting, exciting day.
Right. And with the food that's going to be here, is that going to be from vendors or is that going to be from USM itself?
That's a good question. I know I know Coca-Cola is going to sponsor, so I can
Nice.
throw that name out there. Other than that, you might have to be surprised or just wait for a little closer to Thursday to hear some more details about that.
I mean, absolutely. I think one of the most fun parts about like going to events is knowing that like there could be a lot of things and knowing just how much you're going to be surprised. Because even though you can look at events and see like, oh, you can hear like the name Coca-Cola. I remember I went to high school and like there was a big thing about like Takis a while back.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And like there is like an event that there was like circulating with Takis, and like everyone was looking over going like, what's so important? It's just chips. And like we were able to get like a live concert at that event. So I wouldn't skip out just because you don't know anything that's like coming in. I think that's the fun part.
Exactly.
Absolutely. And we already know that like Friday night at Spirit Park is a huge moment where there's an entire semblance of community and a semblance of family and togetherness. And I know that we already mentioned that a little bit, but if you've ever gone to Friday night at Spirit Park, has there ever been a moment for you that you looked over at and went, I'm so glad this is happening at USM?
Yeah, for me, definitely. I know, especially with live music,
Right.
you kind of get that feeling. You're like, oh, wow, I'm at a concert right now, and it's 5 steps away from my dorm room. Like,
Yeah.
this is great. And then when we had DJ Cujo come at the very beginning of the year,
Yeah.
that was a crazy experience. I was like, holy cow, this is great. So definitely the music kind of creates really good atmosphere. And then for this one on Friday night, we are going to announce the homecoming court. So
Wow.
you're going to get to see all the homecoming court reps before they go in the parade on Saturday. And so if any of your friends are up there or anything like that, that's like a chance for them to be really recognized.
Yeah.
And just another huge celebration for the week.
And with the homecoming court, is that a voting process that's already ended, or do the students have any opportunity with that?
I think the process is already ended for
Okay.
this year. Typically, there is a voting opportunity,
Right.
and the Student Government Association, they allow the people that are running to like post on social media and have posters
Right.
around campus. So be sure to look out for more voting opportunities like that in the upcoming semesters.
Okay.
But that's a huge deal. They try to get everyone to go out and vote. So
Right.
that's awesome to get to pick your representatives for homecoming court.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
And I know that you mentioned it a little bit before about like a event that you're really looking forward to is the Bring It On Eagle Style, if I heard that right.
Yes.
What is that all about?
So every homecoming team gets to make up a dance, and they get to pick the music and pick the costumes, and then all of the members from the team, even if they're not dancing, go to Reed Green Coliseum,
Okay.
and you all get to watch all the dances, and there's judging, so people win trophies afterwards, and
Yeah.
then also there's some special entertainment. There's a faculty and staff dance team.
Wow.
So you could have the chance to see a teacher or an advisor or something like that absolutely just tear up the dance floor. So that's always super fun. But seeing everyone in that coliseum and everyone has glitter on or pom-poms or some kind of noisemaker, it's just a really, really great environment.
Absolutely. And I'm already thinking about some of my professors that I'm hoping is a part of that.
Yep.
But you can only like wait and see. But I know regarding some of the semblances of competition that you brought up, is this also like a dance thing, or is this like other types of things too?
So there's all kind of competitions
Right.
happening this week. Until tomorrow, SGA has set up a like social media competition. So there's people walking around in black and gold striped shirts.
Okay.
So you can post a picture with them and use some kind of hashtag to kind of let SGA know that you're participating in the social media competition. There was the pep rally I mentioned that
Yeah.
happened yesterday, and there was like a chant competition. Each homecoming team came up with a
Fun.
chant. There's also the fountain sit on Friday, which is a really good and like traditional homecoming week event, and
Yeah.
that's a competition where every team tries to answer more than other teams,
Okay.
Southern Miss trivia questions.
Interesting.
And they sit in the fountain in Shoemaker Square.
Yeah.
So that's a really fun competition too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it already sounds fun. And like, I can only imagine the type of questions. Because I remember there was a moment with, I think it was like the Golden Eagle Welcome Week, where like someone like asked me, oh, do you know Seymour's like middle name or Seymour's last name? And I looked over and I went, I didn't even know Seymour had a last name. What? I just thought he was Seymour. But that's really exciting to know that. But the theme for homecoming with Destined for Distinction, do you know anything about that at all?
So I'm guessing it has to do with Dr. Paul just being a very distinguished guy. You
Yeah.
know, he's going to lead Southern Miss into this whole new era, if
Right.
you will, where he's president and we're doing big things and great things and really distinguished things.
Right.
So Southern Miss is destined for distinction over these next 4 years with President Joe Paul kind of leading the way.
Absolutely.
So
I really enjoy that. And I really like how it all connects back to what USM represents, goes all the way back to its students. And with all the student bodies here, we've come from different races, different classes, different backgrounds, and being able to look at each other and we just see a face. We don't get to see the person's background. We don't get to see the history that's behind it. And it's amazing that Southern Miss is the way that it is by allowing a moment for distinction and allowing a moment to really showcase that we are Golden Eagles. We're not separate. We're not this conglomerate of like faces yelling and screaming at each other, but we have created a community that sparks from our own individuality. And that's absolutely amazing. And I'm really looking forward to homecoming week and the events that are coming. Is there anything else that could be covered at all?
I guess just get ready to go out and support the Golden Eagles. There's a ton of stuff happening this week.
Yeah.
Just getting everybody excited. Y'all might see a good bit of alumni on campus, so that's going to be something really fun. But other than that, we are just kicking off homecoming week, and it's going to end amazingly.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Mary Beth from the Southern Miss AA for coming on today and providing a voice for our Eagles. If you're interested in these homecoming events, check out southernmissalumni.com for more details. We hope that you have a happy homecoming. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you.
Coming up, we've got Amaya Norman reporting on deadly flood tolls in Africa. Check it out.
Now on to international news. The World Health Organization has released an estimated death toll for the mass flooding disaster in Libya. According to the WHO, almost 4,000 lives were lost, making this the deadliest flood in Africa in over a century. 9,000 others are still missing. And as bodies continue to be discovered, the official death toll will continue to rise. The floods were caused by the failure of 2 water dams, and experts say crumbling infrastructure in the area and the lack of equity. Warningly, the numbers rise dramatically. Donations can be made to help the victims of the flood through the Red Cross of UNICEF website.
Thank you, Amaya, and thank you for listening to Southern Miss Today on Southern Miss Radio. Huge thanks to our audio engineer, Matthew Lee, and Alina Pitletsky, our video producer, for keeping this bird flying. Big shout out to our assistant producer, Huey Turlich, as well as our executive producer, Miss Whitney Howard, our program director, Shania Williams, and our GM, Dr. Wilbur Martin. I'm your Tuesday, Thursday show host, Skylar Angus Barker. Stay golden, Eagles.